For many, first-person shooters are the main genre of games they're into, and even in the last few months of 2016, you're gonna have a lot of games to pick from. So in this video, we're gonna be looking at the top 10 upcoming first-person shooters for the rest of 2016. Let's get right into this. Number 10, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Alright, so Call of Duty at this point is probably not everyone's favorite franchise, but nonetheless, when you talk about first-person shooters, there's none with larger marquee appeal than Call of Duty. That's just a fact. You can look up the numbers. Infinite Warfare is being developed by Infinity Ward and is set in a distant future centered around the battle for the solar system. The new introduction is the combat rigs, 6 different rigs which all have different weapons, abilities, and playstyles. Hopefully, Infinite Warfare can be a quality COD experience. It releases on November 4th.
Everyone spread out, let's see what we can find.
Coming for you. Worker drones. Oh, why are they moving like that? What's going on the walls? Got a dead civilian here. Another one?
Number 9, Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor was one of the PC's most popular games for a long time, and now we have Killing Floor 2, which on PC is already available in an early access form. For those of you that don't know, Killing Floor is a cooperative focused shooter where you have to fight off hordes upon hordes of zombies. Pretty simple in premise, but it's a lot of fun when you're playing with a couple friends. The game can also be played solo, but I wouldn't really recommend that. It releases on November 18th for PC and PS4. Number 8, LawBreakers. LawBreakers is being developed by Boss Key Productions, who at this point are relatively unknown to the gaming world, but it is a studio being headed by Cliff Bleszinski, the guy most famous for Gears of War. LawBreakers has a focus on gravity-based gameplay, which gives it some difference compared to other shooters. It was actually said to be a free-to-play game, but the devs decided to move away from that format and go for a pay-to-play release. LawBreakers doesn't have an official release date, but it is set for 2016 exclusively to PC for now.
Fighting in our damn streets. When you jump into zero G, how are you gonna win the war? Will you fly like a rocket? Or swing through the sky?
Step into the shadow!
You have picked up the battery.
Will you be on the right side of the blade?
Number 7, Space Hulk Deathwing. Space Hulk Deathwing is an FPS set in the Warhammer 40k universe and based on the strategy board game Space Hulk. The gameplay we've seen thus far has looked very technically impressive, from the particle effects to the detail. It's at a very high level visually. The gameplay looks unique enough, and the campaign seems to have a good amount of depth to it. It releases in November for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Dark Angels author Gav Thorpe, Easter eggs are hidden around every corner. In Swarms, Gene Stealers are powerful creatures, but no match for a Terminator squad when alone. They're heavily reliant on pack tactics and other strategies like ambush, encirclement, and tactical retreats to slowly chip your life away. As for your squad, locking doors behind you will slow the Gene Stealer advance, keeping the Swarms manageable for your squad. Each mission will have you exploring it.
Number 6, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare Remastered. Now to the Call of Duty game that gamers seem to be looking very much forward to. It's not even a brand new game, rather it's a remastering of the fan favorite Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. The game will remain intact from the same weapons, kill streaks, and game modes that were in the original. It'll also come with the original campaign and the 10 base game maps. The DLC maps will be released for free in December. Unfortunately, the only way to get the game is to purchase the higher end editions of Infinite Warfare, so that's really a bummer. Hopefully at some point Activision releases this standalone, but we don't have a confirmation on that. It arrives the same day as Infinite Warfare, November 4th on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Number 5, Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is one of the most ambitious upcoming PC games. We hear that a lot, and a lot of the times the games don't live up to expectations. Hopefully that isn't the case with Escape from Tarkov, because this game has some real potential. A story-driven survival MMO with very realistic gameplay and consequences. It sounds like a game you can get really invested into. The footage we've seen so far has been very slow-paced, but that's the type of gameplay you need in something like this. Methodical, plotting, and calculating. Escape from Tarkov was tentatively scheduled for 2016, but this could be pushed back until later, maybe in 2017. Number 4, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. Tripwire created something really great with Red Orchestra and Rising Storm, and now we have the sequel to Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. As the title would suggest, the game is set in the Vietnam War, and from the trailer, Tripwire really nails the setting and weaponry. Rising Storm isn't a super fast-paced FPS, rather it does require a bit of thinking and some tactics, but that makes it a nice change of pace compared to a lot of the other first-person shooters. There's no official release date yet, but we should see it before the year's out. Number 3, Titanfall 2. Titanfall was one of the most anticipated games of this generation. Respawn had a lot of hype and pressure behind them, and I think most people would agree that Titanfall did fall a little short. It wasn't a terrible game by any means, but there was a lack of content and the game got a bit dull. It looks like Respawn took that criticism to heart because Titanfall 2 is adding a lot of things we hope for. First of all, unlike the first game, Titanfall 2 will feature a full single-player campaign, and that campaign will explore the relationship between a pilot and their Titan. While single-player campaigns aren't essential for games like this, it's definitely a nice added bonus. The multiplayer is also receiving a jolt from new modes, weapons, and Titans. It's just more content all around, which is a very nice thing. Titanfall 2 will be released on October 28th for PC, Xbox One, and this time on PS4 too.
Enemy pilot destroyed. Warning, enemy pilot attacking. Hostile pilot KIA. Friendly pilot is attached to hull. Friendly pilot attacking the target. Warning. Friendly pilot attacking the target.
Number 2, Shadow Warrior 2. Shadow Warrior was one of the surprisingly great games of the last few years. It released back in 2013 on PC, and later it was ported to PS4 and Xbox One. It was single player only, but it was a great campaign, and obviously you didn't just have firearms, you had the swordplay too, which kept the game very engaging. And now there's Shadow Warrior 2, which this game will also have cooperative play where you and 3 others can play through the campaign. Expect more chaos out of this one with over 70 different weapons, and this time around the game will also be less linear, and I know most prefer that. The game releases on October 13th for PC and sometime in early 2017 for PS4 and Xbox One.
You know what's funny? You're full of holes.
Fucking die, you awful son of a bitch! You're not the ugliest thing I've killed today.
Finally, number 1, Battlefield 1. Was there really any doubt this was gonna be number 1? Battlefield 1 has some steam behind it, and it is arguably the most anticipated shooter of the year, and this year it seems to have a real shot at dethroning Call of Duty, at least commercially. I know many of you would collectively agree that Battlefield has been ahead of Call of Duty for a long time, but I digress. Even with the quality of the Battlefield games, a lot of gamers were voicing that it was getting a bit stale, so DICE are very much shaking up the franchise. This game is set in World War I and features weaponry and vehicles from that time period. Now, at first that might sound like too stark of a change, but playing the beta, you can tell this is still Battlefield at the core, just with a new stylization, which really helped. Battlefield 1 released on October 21st, and if you pick up the deluxe edition, you'll get it 3 days early on October 18th.
We are losing objective Charlie.
There's some first aid.
We have taken objective Butter.
Take down first aid.
We have taken objective Apples.
Ammo, right there. That's on here. Need fixing up.
So that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 upcoming first-person shooters for the rest of 2016. What do you think? Agree with our list? Disagree? Comment your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.